Cary Grant and LSD therapy. In the late 1950s, Grant underwent LSD therapy with Dr. Mortimer Hartman and Dr. Oscar Janiger, two pioneers in psychedelic psychiatry. Through the Vedanta group, he met Aldous Huxley, Virginia Dennison, and even Timothy Leary, before Leary was famous. Under LSD, Grant said he experienced total rebirth. He imagined himself being born again, blood and fluids and all. And in one session, he even dreamed he was an enormous penis shooting into space. His wife, Betsy Drake, summed it up. You learn to die under LSD. Freud is the roadmap. There were also whispers about Grant's behaviour outside the doctor's office. In July 1969, a wire story circulated in Europe that he had been questioned after allegedly trying to pick up a young man at the airport. Nothing was proven, but it shows the kind of rumours that were already swirling around him when the murders took place. That's from the Shaky Stevens source, as we'll find out later. That rumour in particular. But yes, that's really interesting. He knew Timothy Leary before he took LSD, as we'll get into it. But yes, and this is from a Vanity Fair article from his wife, Betsy Drake, who he was married to at the time. In 1959, this is. With her marriage now in tatters, Betsy knew she had to talk to someone, and swearing her friend Sally Brophy to secrecy, poured out her heart. Sally, a stage and television actress who had suffered from depression since childhood, told Betsy that she was trying a new kind of therapy with a wonder drug that had the power to break through to the subconscious. She insisted that Betsy meet her therapist, but when they arrived at his Beverly Hills office, Betsy refused to get out of the car. So Sally went inside and brought the doctor out. He talked to Betsy through the open car window. You're desperate, right? Betsy nodded. Well, then why not give this a try? Hardly the most persuasive argument, or the most thorough intake interview, but Betsy saw the logic and agreed to come back the next morning. She was feeling somewhat more hopeful that night when she joined Cary, Clifford Odets, and Yasha Heifetz, sorry if I butchered that name, for dinner at Chasen's. She told them, tomorrow I'm going to take LSD. But the men looked at her blankly and then went on with their conversation. They didn't know what I was talking about, she says. No one had heard of it. And that's like from a Vanity Fair article. I'll make sure that's linked in the description if you want to read the whole thing, because she talks in depth about them going to LSD therapy together. Just in the sidebar here, yeah, LSD was still legal in the US at this point. It was virtually unknown outside psychiatry and small avant-garde set. And Timothy Leary wouldn't begin his Harvard experiments until 1960. So Betsy Drake trying LSD therapy in 1959 makes her and Cary Grant amongst the earliest Hollywood figures documented using it. And yeah, look, there's a short film on Amazon. I've got to watch it about when Cary Grant introduced Timothy Leary to LSD. Got to find that to see if it's any good. Timothy Leary later said that Cary Grant had been involved with LSD for 5 years before he himself became its spokesman. He recalled, in a sense, Cary Grant got me into psychedelics. Grant even asked Leary if his Universal Studios bungalow would make a good place for LSD sessions. And when Leary said it needed a fireplace, Grant immediately had one installed. It shows how deeply invested Grant was in psychedelics, not just dabbling, but shaping the scene. So yeah, he was close to Timothy Leary as well. Yeah, Timothy Leary's shed. There's Cary Grant's apartment. Yeah, erasure of the drug angle. Cary Grant didn't try to hide this. He spoke openly about LSD in interviews, describing visions of being reborn and forgiving his parents. But later biographies and documentaries downplayed this, presenting him as the suave leading man and skipping over the psychedelic therapy. And this isn't unique to Grant. We see the exact same pattern in the Manson case. Prosecutor Vincent Bugliosi deliberately erased the drug culture from his version of events, pushing the helter-skelter motive instead. Both Grant's story and the Manson case show us how Hollywood and the state work to protect their own, burying the messy reality of sex, drugs, and control behind a more palatable narrative. Yes, and Cary Grant, LSD, and the custody battle. In 1960, Dr. Hartman publicly confirmed Grant took part in his LSD therapy program. But by 1970 to 73, a custody case with Diane Cannon, his wife, happened, and LSD use was raised in court as evidence of instability. And in Grant's defense, Dr. Stanley O. Palmer said there was no evidence of erratic behavior, and Dr. Judd Marmor said he was an emotional individual, but no evidence of damage from LSD. But Cannon had claimed that Jennifer Grant should not stay overnight unless a nurse was present, calling Cary Grant an unstable person, basically